Oh, okay. So anybody who is watching this, you're gonna get some spoilers for something coming up on the channel. This episode's gonna be our episode of the month. It's snuck in there at the end because, oh boy, this was just, I think, perfect storytelling. I love that this season's one and done. We get it. These characters can go on their arc, they can have their journey. This has been missing from Star Trek in the recent CBS era of these people. We need to come back to this. And this episode, I think, really highlights that. Because it's like, yeah, we have a whole world to play with. Let's expand the story. Use these visual effects that look better than most things in cinemas right now. Oh, this is incredible. This is why I love Star Trek. This is just one of those things, again, where it's about humanity. It's about who we are as people, how we function throughout things, how we feel for the loss of one and feel for the loss of everyone. It's incredible. So there's a couple things that kind of start off this story. We are being narrated by Leon Nunez-Singh, and of course we are because this is her journey. A lot of her history comes up in this episode. We are also having like our Remembrance Day kind of thing, or like Starfleet Day, where we talk about the other ships we've been on. Everyone's wearing like a certain patch to show like the ships they served on before joining Starfleet or that have worked in Starfleet. You could probably like zoom in on every single badge someone's wearing and get a reference. I only noticed Discovery. So yeah, that's cool. So that's happening as this episode's taking place. You see that Leon does not want to wear her kind of like emblem. It was Paget 6 or something. The ship that her family was connected to. She doesn't want to wear it. She just feels like living in the past is bad. She doesn't really want to do that, but everyone's telling her you maybe need to speak to a therapist, find a way to move forward. She doesn't want to do that, so she doesn't do that yet. As that's going on, we are going to a nearby colony to drop off some air supply. No, not the band, just actual air supply because they're out of there. But when we get there, there's like no radio response, so we beam some people down. There's a massacre, there's blood everywhere, and Leon's kind of like, this feels very familiar. Something about this feels normal, but then we find a ship like leaving the planet and it hails us, so we figure out, okay, these are the surviving colony people. They are coming to go aboard the Enterprise, but their technology is so old, we can't beam them aboard. So they come aboard through like a manual, like I guess gate or something. They come aboard, and one of these little girls is like saying like the noises that their attackers made. And that is when Leon completely clicks into what's going on. Oh shit, it's a Gorn ship. And that ship blows up, people die, and now we are in a race against time, essentially. This entire thing was set up by the Gorn. And I really like this. First off, not showing us these actual villains. Ballsy. I thought for sure we'd get a scene where we see a Gorn emerging from the ship and not just the idea of the Gorn, but I love we don't see it because it adds to that tension, that Jaws aesthetic of the tension, which slowly building over each moment in each scene. It's like we are losing so much. We already lost like 8 people. 8 people have died, some civilians and our crew have died. We're losing our shields. We are losing our ability to beam anybody. We are losing a lot of stuff here. And as the episode progresses, we lose more and more. We don't have any more torpedoes except for one. When we use it, it doesn't do the job it should. They're willing to sacrifice their own ship as bigger ones come in to take their place. It is perfect structural storytelling. Everything about this is brilliant. I commend the writing team so much for making this work because this could easily become very annoying. Because look, it's Star Trek. We know at the end of the day, we're going to survive. We know at the end of the day, our main crew is going to be okay. But there are some really nice tensions we give to each crew member that I like to see. Obviously, the stuff with Leon experiencing the Gorn and she starts seeing glimpses of her brother and her father and like these past visions that she's having. That stuff is super intense. Una Chin Riley, of course, kind of gets hurt because medical is down. She's got shrapnel in her chest, so we have to go back to classic sewing. That is pretty much just not even what we're doing today in terms of sewing. Old school sewing. So Chapel's got to whip out the old, sewing kit, start getting people together. It is intense. And while that's going on, there's like a core explosion happening in the cargo bay. So Hemmer and Uhura have to go stop that. But Hemmer gets his hand broken and Uhura has no idea what she's doing. So she's talking through to him like, here's what we have to do to actually get this done. Beautiful. Just alone, the core explosion potentially happening, medical being down and having to go to manual sewing and like saving people this way. We don't have enough plasma. As like, you can give it to somebody else. I'm not going to use it if it's going to save somebody on my crew. Great tensions, beautiful stuff happening there. Just in there, you have great standalone stories of these people trying to figure out how are they going to stop the ship from exploding, save these people that are dying in ways we don't know how to do anymore. But their shields are down. We have very few weapons. We have like kind of a plan that is like, maybe we'll go into like this dust storm and we can work our way around this black hole. And when we do that, we'll throw off the Gorn, because essentially it's like wherever we go, they're going to go. But since they are ruthless and destructive, they don't really care if they lose people along the way. So we're pretty much flying dark with no power, no weapons, and we're probably going to die. I really like that. It's an intense story, and you see the way Leon's just like, this is exactly what they wanted. This was their plan the whole time. They are baiting us. They are using us to get their way. It's brilliant. And when the big ship shows up, I'm like, damn, you were doing some great story tension. And one of these other things I really liked about this episode, this is just, I think for me, because where I get this in Canada is through television. So it's not like from a streaming service, it's through cable. But not cable, it doesn't matter. There wasn't a fucking commercial or ad break until about 25 minutes in. Wow. That is dedication to this premise. It is really cool. I really was like, you were really impressing me with what you're doing here. I did enjoy that a lot. So we have all our tensions going up. How are we going to get out of this? Who's really to say? A couple people have some plans. First off, I want to say this is a great episode for her take, and she's a character I have slowly built a fondness towards. I think she's fantastic. I think she's fun. She is so confident, but like, this is really stupid. Why are we doing this? And just seeing her play off everybody, it's really fun. She's becoming a character I like. This has some really great moments for Pike, and look, I will sing the praises of Anson Mount till I'm blue in the face. That guy is so worthy of a franchise like this, because he gets it. It's about the quiet moments. It's when he's not talking and when he is thinking and reacting that matter. There's a great moment towards the end of the episode, kind of after we have like a big moment happen, which we'll get to in a bit here, when he thinks Hammer and Uhura are dead, and he's just waiting for their comm link, and he's given up. But then the millisecond Uhura's voice comes on the comms, he steps back. He's like, oh, thank God. That's impressive. That was just beautiful and impressive and scary. I was amazed by that. Very cool. So we do have a plan put in place. Spock and Leon are going to get aboard a shuttlecraft, kind of use it as a distraction to sneak away so the Enterprise can get by and do their things. When they're on the shuttlecraft, Spock's like, I don't think therapy would help you, but maybe it will. But Leon's like, no, I have a better idea. If there's something inside my mind that we can use to get into the side, like what the Gorn are doing, we should do that. Let's mind meld, baby. So we get a flashback. Again, it's fine. Am I a fan of flashbacks? Not always, not overly. It's not something I love. This was really well done. Of course, it's the mind meld. It's fine to see that. You go into like a Gorn nest and you see Leon and her brother running away, and he gives her a map like, use this is how you communicate in their way. You can use this to talk to them. This is their language, like the clicks and the noises they make. Inside that nest was terrifying because it's all close up and scary and just lit perfectly. I really enjoyed seeing that. It was very intense and scary. Very well done. Very cool to see all that happening. But I also gotta commend, like, setting up this character's arc could easily fall apart. It could. But it hasn't. You are giving this woman so much to do, so much to play with. I enjoy the hell out of what we're seeing. Very fun. So they fake a plan, and it's just like, okay, look, humans snuck aboard this Gorn ship. The other Gorn blow it up. Very fun. There's also this idea that because we're mind melding, Spock thinks about his sister while she's thinking about her brother, and now these two have a connection of their siblings sacrificing themselves to save them. Gives them more reason to be where they are in this world. That's kind of fun to see. Now we still have one big Gorn ship left. How are we going to get by that? How are we going to defeat the big Gorn ship? We are going to surf a black hole. And I'm like, hell yeah, brother. Do it. That is what we deserve. You have dragged us along this intense ride with beautiful cinematography, beautiful visual effects, beautiful storytelling. This episode changed, I think, the game of television in big, bad ways. So we're doing that. Here we go. We're going to surf a black hole. The Gorn can't escape it. They don't. They die. We escape it because the Enterprise survives. As Pike said, we're not going to die. Not today. It's awesome. I think at the end, the total was like 2 civilians and 7 crew members, or 8 crew members and 2 civilians. People do die on the ship, and you feel that weight. And it's just super scary and impressive what this episode managed to do. It was just a closet episode, essentially, where everything's pushing itself in. Literally, it's like the weight of the black hole is pulling everything in until it's the very last minute we can actually relieve the pressure. It is super intense. Everybody is acting their asses off. You really felt like the crew, the cast, and everybody is be like, this is an important episode. It's an intense episode. We're firing on all cylinders. It was fantastic. I wish we saw the Gorn. I'm glad we didn't, because I'm wrong about that. It's better that we don't see it, but I'd love to see what this new technology can do to a Gorn. Look pretty cool, if you ask me. I really enjoyed this. And you see at the end that Leon accepts her place in this world, and she's like, even if the Gorn come back, maybe next time we will be ready, and this won't happen to anybody again. She puts on her badge from her parents' ship and accepts her place in Starfleet. Perfect. A perfect ending to a perfect episode. Everything comes back on top. We're rebuilding from a really severe battle. Good job. Very impressive. Loved every second of this. So that's going to do it for this review of Strange New Worlds. No, thank you guys for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.